Democracy has been a noble concept ever since its founding hundreds of years ago, somewhere coined during the French Revolution. But what happens when the very people that democracy aims to protect choose the worst possible outcome and cause their untimely demise? Madam and Mr. Jury, I, as the first speaker of the opposition side, am proud to present our opposition towards the motion. This House believes that political dynasties do more harm than good to democracy. Before I move on to my speech, I would like to give a brief introduction of myself. My name is Yoshinobu Shimba from the school THBT, and today I will be representing the opposition's first speaker towards the motion. This House believes that political dynasties do more harm than good to democracy. First, let us define a few key words from the motion itself. Political dynasties, harm, and democracy are all key words in this motion. First of all, my opponent here from the government's first speaker has already explained what a political dynasty is. In summary, it is basically a large family or a person that creates a dynasty or a lineage or a line of people related to him, her, in positions of high power or political positions. And harm. Next, I will move on to harm. So harm, in this situation, we believe that harm is the capability of something or someone to threaten or hurt the well-being or existence of something else or another person. In this scenario, it is talking about harm towards democracy, meaning that the political dynasties have the capability to dissolve the concept of democracy within a country. Now, democracy is a concept that hinges on the decisions of the people, meaning that the people, the citizens, will have the power to choose from who rules the nation or who gets to rule in powers of position. It does not always have to be a president. It can even just be a governor or prime minister. Next, as the opposition, we strongly disagree that political dynasties do harm to the democracy, meaning that we do not believe that political dynasties have the capability to destroy democracy as a whole in a country. To us, we believe that political dynasties and democracies can exist simultaneously within a country, just not harmoniously all the time, obviously. First, I would like to clarify something, that democracy will not drop dead the moment that a political dynasty takes hold on a ruling system of a country. In the ruling system of a country, democracy will always live on as people have the decisions or the opinions of freedom of speech, freedom of choice, and the ideas of freedom in general. Now, democracy will not drop dead on the spot. Rather, political dynasties can have the capability to strengthen the bonds of democracy. How, you may be asking? Well, consider this. A president has stepped down from the position of power. This president has brought about massive development on the country itself, to the nation. And this president still has some more propositions ready to go, but this president is unable to due to the general rule of not extending out your period. Now, the people trust the president really much, a lot, but still understand that the president can't go over an agreed amount of years. But fortunately for them, the president has a son who is willing to continue where their father or mother has gone off, and will promise to carry out their legacy. This means that the previous president, still has the capability to control or influence the country via the offspring. Now, this is a clear example of a political dynasty, or in some cases you consider this nepotism as well. Now, although this is not generally good for democracy, it is not directly threatening to extinguish the flame of democracy. There are a few good reasons to have a political dynasty as well. Now, I would like to bring up a few arguments too, in fact, why a political dynasty is perhaps more favorable over a democracy sometimes. First, people do not know what is good for them. Not everyone has a strong understanding of politics and its concepts and everything that goes on within politics. Now, they do not know what is good for growth, and rather a person, the citizen, since they are part of a democratic nation, will have the voice that may have a voice that is strong enough to influence other people to vote for someone else during an election, to vote someone in an election that may not be the best option out of the other competitors in that election. Since a person may be biased to what they want instead of what is good for them. For example, there is a famous analogy of a doctor and a sweet seller. The doctor gives medication that is painful but healthy for the person in this scenario, whereas a sweet seller just gives candy and will exacerbate the diseases possessed by the person in this scenario. Now, the person who is unable to, will not want to opt for pain, obviously, because our bodies were wired to avoid pain at all costs. Now, as a result, this means that the person will be more biased to choose the sweet seller over the doctor, thereby exacerbating their own disease and maybe cause their untimely demise. Second, the people of the nation will always fight against oppressive rulers, and that is why democracy will never die. Since what is a nation without its people? A ruler will eventually have to fold, otherwise they will be a ruler of nothing. Last, that I would like to, as the first speaker of the opposition side, I proudly rest my case.